for everybody? Good. So I'll start again. So thank you everybody for coming again. Rotary and Sophie, she's not able to join us today because of the activities going on in Rotary International. They had to look for a new president, international president, in the next 2 weeks before the convention. The president-elect resigned on Monday, and then they have to start doing some uh, catch up to do. So she won't be joining us. She did send some materials, and initially I prepared a slide, but I think what she sent is more engaging. So I'm going to be using the PDF she sent to talk to us. But I want us to like look at what some of the things that Rotary is doing, and I want this to be very engaging so that we can bring in our own ideas, our own how we think we can really adapt to the changing environment, how we can bring uh, all our efforts that we're doing all over the world, how we can bring it to have more impact in our community and in the world in general. Yeah. So the action plan. So Rotary Action Plan is mainly focused on how we can we focus on about four strategies, how we can increase our impact, because we are doing a lot already, but we can still do more, and with even little effort we can even get more done. So the idea is how we can increase our impact, maybe by developing some set of best practice that will follow, so that uh, our members can be able to have some more time to themselves while also increasing how we impact the society and environment generally. Because of technology, we were able to showcase our success stories, which is one thing that really bring people back to Rotary. When we do projects, it's very important that we show our success stories so that people around the world will see what we are doing, and most people want to be part of it. So, Rotary action plan is to increase our impact, which means we can, roll out programs uh, that provide us with new ideas, assess the environment where we live, what are the things that are working, what are the things that are not working, then how can we, make changes. That's one. I'm going to go what we can do later. And then another action plan is how do we enhance the engagement of our members? Over the years, we've seen a lot of members, they join Rotary and then they spend a couple of years and they leave. But its idea is some of them, they don't get the fulfillment that they expect. Some after some time they get into the groove and they are able to adapt to our environment, but we need to look for ways to make sure that our members are impacted and they are engaged, on a regular basis. So that's one of the action plan that we're going to be talking about later. And then how do we expand our reach? So that means we can, we are doing a lot already as a club here. We are in South Africa, we're in Congo, we're trying to get things done in Myanmar, we're doing things in Winnipeg, but we can still expand our reach in terms of how we do little and achieve maximum impact. So, and that requires us to have a plan of action in place that we can consistently follow, and we can get people to easily fit into whatever it is that we're doing. So we're thinking of how we can expand our reach. And then the last one, which is the fourth one, is increase our ability to adapt because of the change in environment, in social media, in traveling, in cost, and a host of things. There is a need for us to adapt to new realities. Maybe it's how we raise funds, or how we communicate to people, how we engage social media. I mentioned that already. So it's very important that we look for strategy that we can use to adapt to the changing realities. So those are the four action points. So I'm going to go to what clubs can do. So the Rotary Action Plan is built on past success, to set future direction. Maybe in the past we can be looking at, or how do we go into health more? Do we go into environment? Do we go into youth? Do we go into mental health? It's very important that clubs, have this internal discussion to look at how best we can, have more impact with our programs. Now, so what Rotary is recommending is, how do we increase our impact? They're saying, okay, look, let's develop a strategy for educating members about importance of impactful projects. And when we talk about impactful project, that means we need to do a research about, okay, this project, how will it impact people? How many people will be impacted? I can send you to you, Stephanie, don't worry, I'll send you your package. How do we measure success of our project? When we do project, do we review how many people were touched? We see how many people were able to get the drugs we sent to the refugee camps, or how many people were able to pay their bills in the hospital, or how many people were able to get off drugs, or how many people were able to I mean we don't really stop wars, but we can keep talking about living in peace so that we can see how we can make sure that we have less war in the world. So to increase our impact, they think we can develop a strategy which we'll probably working together as a team to do that. Research shows that measurable, data-driven result offer proof of impact service that is attractive to the next generation of leaders. That's one. And they think we should conduct a community assessment. In Winnipeg, we might not have the kind of issues that we have in Africa and Asia, but there are still some issues that we can address. Yeah, Stephanie, you want to say something? Okay. So, in terms of
I was just going
impact,
to say, I can teach our group how to do a community mapping activity. It's something I used
okay.
to do at the university. It looks at assets, deficits, and resources, and it's very simple. So when you need me, that's something I can help our group to do.
Okay, thank you. I'll note that down. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, so like you said, so we will look at how we can do an assessment of the environment where we live in. Uh, do we talk about we have a lot of program for HIP people. We can improve on that. I know I discussed with training about, is it not possible for us to have a Rotary Club in the indigenous community? And he said, well, they tried before in the past, they didn't get it through. I said, well, this is 2025. We can try again. We can always keep trying until we get it right. So those are other things that we can do, because we believe that if we're able to get a club in that environment, they will be able to attract direct grants to that place and be able to improve lives in that environment. Focus our efforts. Uh, we review our club's activity to determine which one can be streamlined or eliminated, so that the club can spend more time on activities that make real impact. I think as we go into the year, we'll look at the programs that we are doing, which one are really, really engaging, which one is helping, and which one we can fine tune to achieve better results. So those are what these are increasing our impact is preaching. And then we encourage our club on this way to celebrate long-term success. I think when we celebrate our members and ourselves for something that we have done very well, it's a very good thing. Like the Mona program, Adventure in Citizenship. Those are very wonderful things that we're doing. Even though we talk about it in the club, probably at some point we probably need to do a recognition night, where we give people that have done wonderfully well to our club and in the district some kind of award to show that, look, we appreciate what they are doing, their time, their commitment to Rotary, and we look forward to working with them. That could also motivate some other people to get involved. So that's talking about increasing our impact. Going to expanding our reach. Um, we I think setting a goal is always the right place to start from. When we set goals, like, okay, we want to achieve this. Like I said earlier, let's say or we want to send drugs to 4 hospitals in one in Africa, one in Asia, probably one in Winnipeg, or want to donate to Children's Hospital here and get things done. So when we set the goal about the project, or we want to make sure that we take 2,000 people off drugs in Winnipeg, or we want to deal with homelessness in Winnipeg. When we set those goals, then we can focus our effort on those goals that we set. So I think how we can expand our reach is by setting goals for a start. And then, of course, we have several tools on Crop Runner, which Sophie is very good with that. When she comes about, she speak more about using our crop runners to engage people worldwide, to attract funds and showcase our product, our services. Also, there's mention of forming new clubs. Like, okay, we can, like I said about the clubs in the indigenous community, we can look about having 8 people in anywhere be here or anywhere, or to set new clubs, or we can say satellite clubs, maybe in Africa, in anywhere, or in Asia, or in South America, to well, there's several models now, in terms of club. You have satellite club that you can do 8 members. You have virtual clubs that you can do. You have hybrid. You can do hybrid club. You can do in person, full time in person. So several models where people can meet. So you can explore those kind of avenues, to make sure that Rotary activities does not impact our normal life, because from my interaction with people, members of this club and other clubs as well, I think the time commitment is always a big deal for people to get involved in Rotary. But if you can adapt to meeting time, like for instance, we are supposed to meet around 12 noon before, but now we're meeting at 7 p.m. and 6 p.m. in person, which allows people to be flexible in terms of coming around. So that's some of the things that we can do to expand our reach. I'll go to the next one, which is enhancing participant engagement. So this one is talking about focusing not only on gaining new members, but also delivering value to the existing members. I mentioned that when I was speaking at the beginning that uh, when we care about people all over the world, and we send relief materials to them. We send money for water projects, for drug projects, for agricultural projects. Just name it. We get involved with everything. We tend to sometimes leave our members behind. And I discussed with Dr. Nancy already that look, this year we need to focus more on our members. Like, how do we get in touch with members who we are not seeing in meetings? We need to reach out to them, find out how they're doing, so that we we have this engagement and let them feel valued, let them feel part of the whole system, and then from there we can have engagement of new members. We can, like I said, there's something that Rotary Run sent today regarding conducting a survey, finding out what people think we should be doing better and stuff like that. So Rotary is suggesting that we hold a brainstorming session or use the survey to ask members about what is important to them, how they're growing, and how they think we should be doing better. They want us to offer new ideas and let them share new ideas. We're going to rely on our members because this year to look at what our members think about what we are doing. Do they have any idea that we can build on? It's not going to be only club directors or committee chairs that will be taking initiatives. We want our members to also come up with ideas that we can use, to help our community, or whether local or international. So we're looking forward to new ideas. Like that. There are a lot of learning curriculum in the learning center, which I will let. I'm not an expert in that, but Sophie can speak to that. But regularly, I'm doing some training myself. I'll be sharing that as well. Finally, there's something about about increasing our ability to adapt. Due to innovation all over the world, there's a need for us to start looking at, okay, how do we do things better? How do we write reports? How do we monitor success stories? Um, how do we use, how do we encourage youth, to get off drugs and uh, probably we do a lot of things with the robotics nowadays, and it's another a good idea where we can get youth engaged in developing software that can help them and help the world. We can review our club processes, how do we get things done? Do we need to remove some bottlenecks? Do we need to um, merge committees, or do we need to make sure that we expand the committees? How they do things so that they can have a more engaging meetings. One of the things I am proposing is like where we have two physical meetings on a monthly. We have one Zoom meeting like this one we are having now, and then we allow the committee to have the fourth meeting of the month. Let it be a committee meeting so that they don't need to go and meet outside the 1 hour that we're supposed to dedicate per week for Rotary. I think by doing that, we'll make sure that people know that, okay, yeah, their time is important. We know that time is very, very important in this environment. And then you can use your time, 1 hour for Rotary for that particular week. You can use it for the committee meeting instead of having an enlarged meeting like this. So it's something that we're proposing. We've not really started it, but we think it might work. It might save us time. It might make us to be more productive. And so those are the things that we probably need to do to adapt to the changing environment. Sometimes I wonder why the days are just so fast these days. Before you wake up, yeah, it's already night, and then we're like, why is it so fast? I was telling my wife that it looks like time in this Winnipeg, Canada is different from time in Nigeria. That Nigeria, you have time to do a lot of things, but here, you just don't have time. Every time is always very fast, and then you don't have time for anything. And then she was like, well, maybe in Nigeria, I have a driver, I have housemaid, I have helpers that help around. So those are not here. So you need to value your time very well here. Every minute counts in this environment. So we need to be mindful of that so that we adapt to the realities and make sure that our members are not overwhelmed with a lot of activities. Um, so that's why for our club we have a continuity plan. We do have our elections on due date, probably some a little bit of extension, but we do have a good succession plan. And as we go into the next few years, I think this club is going to develop better into a fantastic club that people will be joining. Personally, I have people that, due to the district requirement for membership, I took the form from Nancy, and I have about two people that sent their form in today that they want to join. So we hope that we have more members in the years to come. And one of the things that we can do is when we participate um in sponsorship event, or like just normal community event, probably Adra is doing something. We are there with our members to talk to people about Rotary, about our impact, why they should be there. I know people that they just want to contribute like to humanity. They don't have the time, so they are welcome. you know they don't have the time, but they want to contribute. They want to feel that, look, they are doing their own bit to make the world a better place, which is a good thing. So, and I've been to a couple of events with Chamber of Commerce. I know that we have a lot of people there. I've been to some events with Trinidad Hospital Foundation, and I met somebody, the chairman of the board, and it was like Rotary Club of Winnipeg sent him to Norway in 1973, and I was like, oh, why didn't he join us? Apparently at that time, probably nobody was asking him to join us, but he was doing the speaking for me, when I was supposed to be speaking to them about or benefits of joining Rotary, but he was there as an evidence of success, because he was there as the chairman of the board and was saying that, look, Rotary helped him to be a better person at that point. So some of those things that we do are very, very important. I'm mindful of time, So I'll just go to the next, which is some material that I can share that she shared with me right now. It's just what I explained earlier, but I can't read them out. I will send it to Nancy and Frank so that they can share this out to members. I'll send it also to Stephanie because I know that she's very interested. And if you want to have this slide, you can send your email. You can let President Frank know, and then we'll send it to you. Um, then still the same thing. Some of the things that we have done, eradicate polio, and focus on programs and offerings, improve ability to achieve and measure our impact. It's very good to measure our impact because when we do things and want to report, we say, okay, how many people benefited from, let's say we do an economic program and we bought sewing machine or we bought skating shoes or whatever it is for people, just to help them. We need to be able to say, yeah, these are the people that were impacted. These are the numbers that were impacted. So that when we are writing the report or we're showcasing our success stories, people can see that this thing we are doing, they're having real impact. So these are suggestions from Rotary Action Plan. I think they've really done a good job in Rotary to plan these things. They've seen that there are challenges with the structure from Rotary International down to the district, to the zone, to the district, and they're thinking they're doing better. So finally, club experience matter most. So we need to work on how our members can enjoy the meeting more. When members have fun and feel they are included and they belong, they enjoy the meeting more. Um, we need to have members feel that they have input in the club and that their leaders are open to their ideas, which is what I said earlier. And then when members of the club, when they trust the leadership, they bring in ideas, and those ideas can turn to programs that we do over the coming years. Personal growth opportunity. When members feel that their club and Rotary offer ways for them to develop their skills and grow is very important. I know that when I was looking for a job, when I just came to this country, Lieutenant Frank gave me one or two connections, and I did some interviews, before I got the job I'm doing right now. So that's the idea, because we still have other people that are coming from Rotary actors, which is I'm working with them right now to get involved in government of Manitoba. I think about two of them were able to get into the STEP program last month, so they've started already. So we through these active connections, we can help our members that want to transition into better jobs or the Rotary actors that want to become Rotary members to get employed and stuff like that. So Rotary also preaches this connection about professionally. So we need to develop professionally. We need to speak about what we do. I think our club, one of the things that we encourage is when we speak, like when we talk about our classification, what we do every time, maybe not every time, but at least we need to tell them what we do. People that are retired, they can have experience that we can buy into and stuff like that. Also, connections as well. When members feel that they form valuable relationship through Rotary, like by having interactions in the club, not just having the speakers, but having that close discussion within the club, we can have members becoming friends and then improve our members' experience. And then when members feel that their service club does make a difference in the world and their community. So at the end of the day, all of us are in Rotary because of one reason or the other. It's very important that we satisfy that our urge. For me personally, I was following one woman to Rotary Club of Festac, and then one day she said, "Well, they're coming to my area. They want to form a club that they want to join." I said, "Why not? I can join." And then when we started doing some project, one of the projects that we did that really touched me was we bought baby clothes, monkey jackets, socks, diapers, and with money, and we took it to one rural hospital, and we gave it to about 50 people, and then they were just crying, and I was like, why are they crying? That's because I was moved myself that I thought this was just a normal project to donate, but it looks as if we are giving those children some elevation, like a good first step, a good first feel of life, And since that time, I've always been very, very interested in maintaining my membership of Rotary, and that's why I'm here today. And I want to thank this club again for seeing me worthy to be the president for 2025-2026. I look forward to working with everybody, and yeah, so let's talk about Rotary from with every opportunity. I want to thank our visitors, Veteran Sunday Fadipe, Veteran Kisita. I'll see you in Calgary. Veteran Mata, I don't know whether you are a member of our club, but generally, I want to thank everybody for coming today. We look forward to, having impactful projects, having you for our in-person meeting. If you're not going to Rotary, we're not going to Calgary soon on the 18th. Lieutenant Frank will be presenting the scorecard for this year. So we invite all of you to come. So I will stop here so that you can have time to round up. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Opie.
Yes, sir.